Hello, I am Jim Devine. I am the co-pastor of Lake Deaton United Methodist Church, and I'm excited to welcome you to Lake Deaton. And we are excited to be applying for the Lilly Pastoral Renewal Grant, and we welcome you to our church.
Hi, I'm Kathy Schrader. I am the lay leader here at Lake Deaton United Methodist Church.
And I am Jim Devine. I am the co-pastor and founding pastor of Lake Deaton United Methodist Church.
And as you know, Pastor Jim, the last several years have been very challenging for all of us. You led the launch of a new congregation in the middle of a pandemic. Then we went through that pandemic. Pastor Jim and his co-pastors had to be very creative about keeping people engaged and interested in the church. And then when we came out of the pandemic, to get people to come back to church and now grow the church and launch several new initiatives. So it's just been a difficult time.
It has been.
And we really, as a congregation and leaders in the congregation, see that this is a perfect and great time for you to have some renewal.
Yeah.
I think you deserve it, and I think it would be a great opportunity for you to be able to get re-energized and renewed.
Yeah.
But you're the one really that came up with this idea of a Tolkien pilgrimage. So
yes.
I'm interested to hear more about that and why is now a good time for that and what are you going to do?
And you know I love to talk about Tolkien.
I do, because we have heard it in many of your sermons over the years.
Yes. And so, Kathy, as I was reading through all of the Lilly Grant proposal forms, I saw this thing that several times it said, "What makes my heart sing?" And I can remember one night I was reading that and I just thought, well, what makes my heart sing are the stories and the mythology and the allegory of J.R. Tolkien. As a 14-year-old kid, The Hobbit was the first book I ever read. And it changed my life in dramatic ways as a kid. And just brought this whole idea of story to life and mythology. But then over the years, I've learned that Tolkien based everything in that book. I think he did it subconsciously, but it all came out of his devout Catholic and Christian life, and it came out to speak powerfully to the real world conditions of where we're at, especially because so much of what influenced his life, Kathy, was that he went through the First World War and he was in the trenches. He watched some of his dearest friends get killed. He went through the Second World War as an academician then at Oxford, but all of that influenced his writing. And many people believe that these books that are the highest, two of the highest selling books, The Hobbit and then the Lord of the Rings trilogy of the 20th century, but they also speak greatly and deeply to our Christian faith. And he's even been referred to as one of the great lay theologians of our time. And so I want to go back kind of as that 14-year-old kid, but with the back now with the having the life of a 60-year-old man to go and dive back in with that excitement, but with the eyes of someone that's looking for the theology, the depth, the spirituality of Tolkien, and what he has to say to our real world issues today,
Yeah.
on global conflict, on AI, and so much that comes out of his books on the environmental and the environmental crises we find ourselves in.
Yes.
And so that excites me.
Yeah, that's interesting, because
yeah.
I've never thought of Tolkien that way.
Yes, but it's at the heart of who he is.
Sure.
And my goal, the goal is combining that with things that we've taught are essential to aging and maturing and retirement. You know, our church is a retirement community church in the middle of the villages, the largest retirement community in the world. And so one of the things there's two things that we've always emphasized the church is. The first one is that as we mature, we need to have a life enthusiasm that's focused around physical health,
Very
exercise, very important. That's combined with mental growth, and that combines with our spiritual vitality, and the three all play together. And you have to do all three.
That, yeah.
And so that this pilgrimage is based on that. Almost everything, if you're going to go back to these places that were important, that spoke to Tolkien and spoke into his work, you're going to be hiking. And so this whole trip, I'm getting a backpack. It's all going to be by train, plane, train, bus, and then hiking.
Yes.
So it's going to be a physical. It's going to be a physical challenge. It's mental. I mean, I'm going to reread all of his work this summer, but I'm also going to read the major works that speak to his spirituality and speak about how he talks to the modern world. And I'm going to do that as well. And then it's going to be a spiritual time as well, because ultimately it's all about my spirituality. So I'm employing a spiritual coach that will work with me for the entire time I'm there. Every 2 weeks I'll meet with them on a phone call. And then even when I get back through the summer, all the way through the fall, when I go to my Oxenmoot, that conference that every Tolkien enthusiast has to go to once in their life, that I'll be meeting with that spiritual guide. But then also, it's how the church connects with that.
Yes, tell us more about
because we are going to get, as a church, 3 different pastors that will come in and assist my co-pastor, my wife Loida, but all 3 of our colleagues that are going to come and spend 3 weeks each are also each a spiritual guide. One's a spiritual coach, and the other 2 are spiritual guides. And they're going to be presenting that and giving opportunities for people in our church to go through the spiritual mentoring as well. And then lastly, this is the biggie, we're going to give, through the grant, every couple in the church a copy of The Hobbit, with the goal that everybody will read it. I know not everybody will, but
Yes.
I think a lot of people will. And that out of that, then when I come back, we'll have a summer series. And we're going to start talking about these issues in the congregation. So I think it has the chance to be exciting for everyone.
Yes, definitely. I think a lot of the people in the congregation would really enjoy that spiritual mentoring. And I know I would enjoy reading The Hobbit and thinking about it in a totally new perspective.
Yep.
And I look forward to the learnings of a new sermon series on that topic.
So yeah, I'm just so grateful for the support of all of our leadership, but also just for the opportunity even to apply.
Yes.
It's been exciting just to go through the process
It has
of
been.
thinking through all this. We've been having
Yes.
fun, haven't we? And other leaders have been working with us. It's been a fun time.
It has.
So.
And I know that I speak on behalf of the entire congregation that we really support you in this, and we are looking forward to you coming back renewed, rejuvenated, with tons of energy to lead us through the next several years.
I feel it too. Thank you. And thank you.